You're listening to a very special episode of the Scotty C and Rye Show. I'm Scotty C.
And I'm Ryan Masuda.
On today's show, what else are we going to talk about but World Cup? Let's be real. Let's get at it. How we doing today, buddy?
I am so excited, and I came to the painful realization that if I had prepared this much for school and or my SATs and or GRE, I would probably be making a lot more money in my life right now. How are you?
I am fantastic because I am still alive. So, very exciting. And plus, World Cup starts in 2 days. Have been looking forward to this forever. So, I am pumped. Pumped. Oh, did we already? Oh, and we're back. Oh,
My back?
yeah, you are. There you are.
Okay.
Your head was frozen so
Sorry,
still.
even my computer's excited.
I was like, Ryan looks more
All right,
stoked than
well,
usual.
all right, man. Where do you want to start? As everyone is now known, everyone in the world is offering their 2 cents on this. A lot of people who haven't followed the sport over 4 years, but I think you and I are pretty qualified here to offer our thoughts. Um, just before we start, I want to ask you a few questions, man. Has a
Okay,
European team ever won the World Cup on South American soil?
that is no, they have not.
Has any other country other than a South American country won the World Cup on South American soil?
They have not. I believe.
What happened the last time the USA played a World Cup on South American soil?
They finished third, my friend.
They finished third!
Didn't know I knew that, did you? Yeah.
No, but I'm so happy because we finished third.
Totally finished third. Wasn't that in like 1930 though, or like 13? Like a really long
It was the
time ago.
first. It was the world's first World Cup, and 8 teams played. But I digress. We finished
Finished
third,
third.
and in 2002, I said if the U.S. was to ever win the World Cup, I would get a tattoo of the U.S. crest on my chest. It is the only tattoo I will ever get. It will not be my children's names. It will not be any of my family's names. It will be the U.S. crest. So, Jurgen, can he do it?
I don't know, man. You just saw them live. What you think?
I think that Jurgen in the previous 2 friendlies against Azerbaijan and Turkey was playing a bit of possum with his back line, and I think the back line that you saw against Nigeria, the one of DeMarcus Beasley, Matt Beasler, Jeff Cameron, and Fabian Johnson, was who he's going to go with. And I thought they looked great. And I was also pleasantly surprised by Alejandro Bedoya. Thought he played really well out there on the wing. And that diamond midfield, we've talked a lot on this show about how both of us would prefer Kyle Beckerman to Jermaine Jones in that holding midfield role. And Jurgen did what a lot of top managers do. He put his best 11 on the field. He put Jermaine Jones out wide, put Beckerman there in the holding spot. The U.S., I was extremely encouraged by it. Nigeria had very little chances until the substitutions kind of came on, and Jurgen put in Timmy Chandler, Omar Gonzalez. They kind of conceded some chances again. I thought the penalty call on Beasler was really weak. But again, that formation allows Michael Bradley to push higher up the field. And you saw it once again. Another beautiful chip to Josie, who took one turn and ripped it near post. And clicking at the right time, I think our 11 can go with any 11 in the group. Little excited there. Don't think it's an overreaction, but I think that back four of Beasler, Cameron, Johnson, and Beasley, man, I think they just might have enough.
Sell me on Jeff Cameron.
He's better than Omar Gonzalez because Omar Gonzalez has been hurt for a while, and Brad Davis is more of a right or a left back. It's the best I can do.
Brad Davis is garbage. Um, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad Josie finally got some goals. Um, again, I just feel like this U.S. win just comes, with another caveat of, you know, what Nigeria team actually showed up. I thought they looked kind of awful. So, with trepidation though, I've been saying for since the group came out, the U.S. was going to make it out. I may have switched last time when I was really butthurt over Landon. I don't know what I actually said or didn't say. I can't remember. But there's no excuse for us not to make it out of this group, right?
There are actually some scenarios, and we're just going to get the puffery out of the way. There are actually some scenarios where I can see the U.S. winning our group. Germany and Portugal are both limping into this thing, and Portugal is so heavily reliant on Cristiano Ronaldo. They really don't have any answer on the other side. I mean, Nani has been terrible for the past 2 years. Their back line is hurt. Germany also limping into this thing. Now, Germany, don't get me wrong, of all the teams in our group, Germany has the most talent, even though they are going to be without Marco Reus. But Germany's back line is also pretty suspect. You can actually make the argument that the strongest back four in this entire group is Ghana's. And Germany and Portugal playing in the opening round, those two teams I'm telling you, they are going to beat the hell out of each other. And when those two teams are banged up, it'll be interesting to see what Yogi Low does, if he kind of goes with what Spain did with Cesc Fabregas in the Euros and play a false nine. Because if you look at their roster, they really only have one true striker, and that's 58-year-old Miroslav Klose. And the first game in these group stages is so important. I mean, if you lose your first game, you only have a 9% chance of advancing out of your group. So you have to expect a result to advance. And Germany and Portugal, it's going to be a war. And if the U.S., who I believe still will beat Ghana, because Ghana, when they were underdogs in these last two tournaments, teams were pressing them, teams were trying to force the issue with them. Ghana was allowed to sit back and then counter. That hasn't happened in the past couple of years. Teams have kind of figured them out, and they've put the onus on Ghana to create, and Ghana has not been able to succeed at doing that. So I do think the U.S. is going
nothing though
against South Korea.
How bad is South Korea?
South Korea is not good.
They're not good at soccer.
Everyone has 2002 South Korea in their head, but South Korea, I do not have them advancing out of their group. In fact, I actually have South Korea, I believe, only drawing against Russia. So you look at Ghana, definitely beatable for the U.S. Jurgen Klinsmann stayed an extra night in Miami to scout Ghana versus South Korea. He knows that Ghana is the team that got Bruce Arena fired and got Bob Bradley fired. Jurgen wants to beat them with everything in his body. So after that Germany-Portugal opener, you have the U.S. taking on Portugal. Again, flashback to 2002 when we beat Portugal. And what I had harpered on there with Portugal being so dependent on Ronaldo, and then you get to that last game, USA-Germany, keep in mind, the U.S., although they were playing against a German team that was not full strength, went up 3-0 and eventually lost 4-3, I believe, in a friendly. The U.S. can play. What's that?
Didn't we win 4-3?
Okay, yes, we won 4-3. Correct. The U.S. can play with any team in the world on any given day, and if the U.S. is able to beat Ghana, if they beat Portugal and then draw against Germany, they will win the group. And at that point, they will face a second-round matchup with either Algeria, Russia, or South Korea, because I'm assuming Belgium will win that group. If the U.S. faces one of those teams, they can beat them. They've beaten Algeria before. Russia is managed by Fabio Capello, who should instill confidence in nobody. And if they win that matchup, then it's very, very possible they're looking at a quarterfinal matchup with the winner of France and Bosnia-Herzegovina. Bosnia, first time in the World Cup. France doesn't really have a great midfield, although they are always dangerous after they've crashed out of a tournament. I actually have France going very far this year, but the U.S. can beat France. That is a very winnable game for the U.S. So if the U.S. is somehow to manage a miraculous win of this group, you could actually not fool me into thinking we could make the semifinal.
The semifinal? I mean, if we... all right, but let's say
I'm not predicting that. I'm just saying that it would not. If the U.S. is able to pull off a miracle and win the group, there is actually a very open path to the semifinal.
Okay, or we finish second, we come up against Belgium. What happens in that?
At that point, we have to really hope that Romelu Lukaku's ankle injury is much more serious and that it keeps him from being 100%, and that the fact that Belgium, again, has not really done... This is Belgium's first World Cup in quite some time, the first World Cup with this squad of players. We, I think, learned a very valuable lesson in that scrimmage in that exhibition against Belgium, and we're also having a closed-door scrimmage with them once we get to Brazil. Much tougher matchup, but on our best day, we can beat a team in Belgium that, while they are very creative in the midfield, their strikers, Christian Benteke and Lukaku. Benteke won't even be there, and Lukaku is hobbled. Lukaku was the one who caused us a lot of problems in that match. I think we're getting a lot of these teams banged up at the right time, and the U.S., for the most part, is very, very healthy.
Why are you getting me all worked up? Why are you doing this to me? I don't need this level of excitement in my head right now, all right? God damn it.
This is I'm trying not to overreact from what I saw against Nigeria, but there's just a lot of and in my World Cup official prediction, I do have Germany winning the group, but it would not surprise me. It's there for the U.S. It really is. I'm not with Alexi Lawless, who says that we're not making it out of this group. We're going to make it out of the group. It's just a matter of whether we finish first and pull off the greatest feat in American soccer history, or we finish second and have to battle with Belgium.
That'd be so crazy. It'd be so crazy. That's all I can say when you really break it down that way.
Because
but, I mean, ultimately, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, the key for me that I always look at, when we look at the NCAA tournament, you and I always look at guard play and coaches. For soccer, for me, it's all about keepers in the midfield. Soccer is traditionally won through the midfield, but a great keeper can compensate for a lot of issues with your defense. And you can make the argument that the U.S. has one of the better combinations of midfield and keepers in this tournament. You look at some of the strongest midfields. You have Brazil, Spain, Croatia, Germany, even though they're hurt, Italy, but there's a very strong argument to be made that Beckerman, Jones, Bradley, and whether that's Bedoya, whether that's Zusi, I would like to think it'd be Bedoya. He's a bit more responsible on the defensive end. Those four can go toe-to-toe with a lot of people. And Tim Howard, you definitely have to put him in. He's one of the top 8 keepers in the world. So it just comes down to what can the U.S. bring off the bench. And that was what I think separates us from Germany at this point. We just don't have it off the bench yet.
Who's coming on first, Johansson or Wondolowski?
If it's against Ghana, I could see Wondolowski. If it's against a more technical side like Portugal and Germany, I think it'll be Johansson.
Interesting.
I
Yeah,
also have one more quick
okay.
question for you. How did Nigeria get the Super Eagles nickname? How did the U.S. not get the Super Eagles? I want the Super Eagles for the U.S.
The Super Eagles? What's the US's?
The Yanks.
Do we even have one? Just the Yanks?
Yeah.
I can deal with that. I like that the Men in Blazers call them the Von Traps. I think that's what we should be. Even, oh man, interesting. Well, now I'm just all super pumped. I've been watching that goddamn Nike or ESPN commercial on repeat all day. And now you just broke it down to where it's actually plausible for us to win the group. But can we? I mean, this Ghana hump is just so massive.
In rivalry games, man, we always say how hard it is to beat a team 3 times, and I know it is essentially 12 years apart,
Yeah.
but it is extremely hard to beat a team 3 times, man, especially a rival.
Yeah, it's true. It's very, very true. Oh man, I believe. Where are you watching the first U.S. game?
The first U.S. game, I will probably
You're gonna be in
have
your
to.
office.
I can't decide whether I should watch it in the confines of my home, away from public sight, because I am going to just be really getting after it for that game. I haven't decided. It's still it's indeterminate. Why don't we talk about the host country here, Brazil, for a little bit? Because a lot of people are picking Brazil to win. You had mentioned to me before we started that you had Brazil winning. No team has ever won the Confederations Cup and then won the World Cup in the following year, and Brazil won the Confederations Cup last year. So why should I believe that Brazil should win this tournament and break that trend?
Um, well, for one, I mean, home court always helps. That country is going to be going crazy, and I think the pressure um, actually helps them. I think they played off it last year in the Confederations Cup, and they look really good at times. And when they have their counterattack going, it's going to be tough to stop them from scoring goals. And as long as nothing funky happens and they end up playing Spain a little early, I mean their road isn't the most difficult in the world either to get to at least the semis. So I think it's set up very nicely for them, and they'll just be so pumped up. Not very scientific, but
In every one of those Confederations Cup games, Brazil took a lead into halftime. What do you think happens if they're in a World Cup matchup and they are either trailing or they have to chase a lead? I guess that would be the same thing. You think Brazil can chase a lead?
uh, that makes it a lot dicier for them. For them to dig down. I mean, when because it's impossible to catch Brazil once they get up on you. Essentially, of course it's happened, but once they get that confidence rolling, it's really tough to beat. So could they be broken in a game? Yes, but again, you know their goal scoring is just like so prolific. I have a hard time seeing them falling behind against any of their early opponents.
The number 10 role is kind of gone a little bit by the wayside in terms of that true attacking playmaker. There are very few true number 10s who remain in the game, but Oscar is definitely one of them. The way he presses it's a thing of beauty to watch, and he was really able to excel under Jose Mourinho, as much as it pains me to admit that. But Oscar is one of these just relentless players who not only is able to win you possession, but is able to make every pass you need. He's extremely smart on the ball. He doesn't lose possession. The only thing that concerns me with Brazil, and a bit of these concerns were answered in the Confederations Cup, but is Hulk up to the task? I believe in Neymar. I think Neymar is a fantastic player. He's a battler. He fights for it. Hulk, 5 goals in 5 Confederations Cup games. He carries that over. I think Brazil has a very great chance to make the final. One of the interesting scenarios that I have is if France is somehow able to get by Germany in the quarterfinals, that would set up a matchup with Brazil. That would set up a semifinal matchup between Brazil and France. France owns Brazil in the World Cup. They do.
Yeah, but in Brazil though. In
Amen.
Brazil, that's the main difference. You know, if we're gonna boil it down to yes, past performance, France has owned them. I'd say right now Brazil is a better team than France, and plus home field advantage. I can't see Brazil losing to France in the semifinal game, especially without Ribery. I mean, come on, man.
No, I understand, and as much as it pains me to admit, I mean, Ribery is a huge loss. I actually think it's, I talked about how Nasri was the biggest omission from the World Cup, but, France's manager came out and said when he doesn't start, he's not happy, and when he's not happy, it shows and it affects the team, and that's kind of the reason that Eddie Johnson was left off the U.S. men's national team, but I'm not saying Ribery is replaceable, but Griezmann is a very, very talented player. The only thing that worries me about France is their back line. They got kind of an aging back. Obviously, the big names that stick out to you are Patrice Evra and Sagna, but these are guys that took a dip in form for Arsenal and Man United, respectively. But France is one of these teams that can play a high line because of the way Hugo Lloris is so effective as a sweeper in goal. And I was never a big Lloris fan until these past 2 years. I've really come around on him. The guy's shown a lot. He played through a concussion that was really, really not cool, and hopefully led to Andres Villas-Boas getting canned to Tottenham. But I don't know, man. France is known for brilliance, embarrassment, brilliance, embarrassment. And 2010 was embarrassment.
So you're saying it's lying. What surprise team do you have? I mean, you explained the U.S., which would be which is a big one. Do you have another team making the quarters or semis that people wouldn't expect?
Well, I think I have some surprise teams making it out of the group. Although, the more I read in, I don't know. It just depends on your perspective, really. I have Chile as the second team out of Group B. I know that's a lot of people's pick as well. I have Japan also coming out of Group C with Colombia, and then in Group E, I've kind of flip-flopped a bit between Switzerland and Ecuador. I think I'm going to stick with Switzerland, but I think the biggest surprise for any U.S. fan or anyone that's really listened to this show, I have Mexico as the second team out of Group A.
Oh, what?
Yes, I do.
They've been playing so bad. They're just so bad.
You want to know why they're the second team out of Group A, my friend?
Why?
It's the same reason I have Uruguay winning Group D, because while England and Italy are beating the hell out of each other in the first matchup, Uruguay gets Costa Rica. And while Brazil and Croatia are beating the hell out of each other, Mexico gets Cameroon. And African sides, man, African and Asian sides historically do not do very well at the World Cup. Even in South Africa, Ghana was the only team to advance out of the group stage. I don't have faith in the African teams. That first matchup is key, and Mexico can absolutely get 3 points from that. And if you get 3 points, I think the chances of advancing shoot up to like 85 or 87%. It's something like that. So it's all about the matchups. I just think the schedule broke very favorably for Mexico.
Am I crazy? How crazy am I for having Uruguay and Costa Rica come out of D?
I don't think you're crazy for Uruguay. I think you're a bit crazy on Costa Rica.
Yeah. I don't want to pick Italy though.
So this should tell you the amount of time I've killed on or off the clock. I'm not going to admit to either one. In Group D, Uruguay, England, Italy, Costa Rica. I have the top three: Uruguay, England, and Italy, all finishing with 5 points. And I have England and Italy finishing with the same amount of goals scored, the same amount of goals conceded, i.e. the same goal differential. And since I have Italy and England drawing in their opener, that would lead to FIFA having to flip a coin to determine who advances. That's how close I think Group D is amongst those top 3 teams.
Can you imagine the outrage if your team lost a coin flip? Like,
dude, it is so hard for me to break down because you got Uruguay and Costa Rica in the opener. That's 3 points for Uruguay. And I'm not really that big of a believer in Uruguay, especially with Suarez hurt, a back line that is extremely old, a midfield that really hasn't made much improvements. The only thing really going for them is they're in South America, and you really shouldn't bet against a nation that has the population of Connecticut and has won the World Cup. You just shouldn't do that. So you got England and Italy in that opener, which is just brutal. But then after that, you got Uruguay and England. I don't see either one of those teams winning. That to me just screams of a draw. You got Italy and Costa Rica. That's the 3 points for Italy. And then you go from there, and you got Costa Rica and England. That's 3 points for them. Uruguay and Italy. I see that playing out to a draw, man. I tried to work it out. Every single time I came back with all 3 of those top teams getting 5 points. It's such an even group. It is such an even group.
I see this World Cup just being an absolute disaster for England and them. I don't
What
see
makes you say that?
Just the state of the team, how young it is, Rooney's shape right now. There's always so much negativity surrounding the English team, especially heading into big tournaments, and they haven't shown anything.
But what if England, and I think they kind of showed this in one of their recent friendlies, what if England reverts to a style that was similar to Liverpool, where they have Sterling on the wing, they have Rooney kind of filling that Suarez-ish role, they have Welbeck out on the left, they have Steven Gerrard deep as a holding midfielder, which presents its own set of problems, don't get me wrong, and then they have Jordan Henderson on top of him, and then you got Sturridge up top. So you got essentially an attacking front 3 of Sturridge, Rooney, and Welbeck, with Raheem Sterling on the wing, Jordan Henderson in the middle, possibly Jack Wilshere on the left, and Steven Gerrard supporting them. Does that not give you a little bit of warm fuzzies?
I mean, that's not the worst thing I ever heard. It's not. I mean, is that what they played in their last friendly?
Well, they didn't start Sterling, but I think against a team like Uruguay, who has very slow defenders, I think they're going to need to start him. Against Italy is traditionally a slow starter. I don't see England taking a lot of chances in that game. I don't think England's going to want to. Because the last time England and Italy played in the Euros, Andrea Pirlo just absolutely destroyed Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney just made a conscious effort to not mark him. And Pirlo just went absolutely crazy. Italy dissected England through the midfield because of Pirlo. I don't think they'll make that same mistake here. I'm not even convinced that Rooney starts, but I saw what Sturridge did this season. I saw what Sterling did. even if Oxlade-Chamberlain's hurt, if you put even Wilshire, if he's kind of hurt, but if you
If
put
Wilshere was
somehow,
healthy, I like that. I mean, if he was like 100% like good to go, I like him as a player.
it's just hard. Yeah, and it's tough because Italy has a great midfield too. But for me, if any of it's tough. I mean, like I said, I have all
Yeah, I
three
mean,
teams.
you literally, yeah.
I literally have all three teams timed. So I'm obviously a bit conflicted.
Right. No, I hear you, man. Yo, who is the U.S. kid from Italy who didn't make the team? I mean, who's the
Giuseppe
U.S. kid from
Rossi.
Giuseppe? That's his name.
Yes.
God, what he
Funny
deserves.
thing is, man, people don't realize that Italians are extremely critical of their own kind. How critical do you think they're going to be of a kid born in Jersey who's trying to be Italian?
Yeah, bro. Good job. Good life choice. Could have played in 3 World Cups. Said he played in one for like 10 minutes. Smart.
Do you have any really big surprises? I think I got you a little bit with that Mexico one, but
Yeah, the Mexico. I mean, who's the lowest team I got going for it? I think Japan. It's like the. I mean, these rankings are such garbage. But I got Japan making it out of its group. I did not have France getting out of its group. Um, I've been favoring Central and South American teams. I actually I picked. Who did I originally pick? Started playing with it when you started talking about the U.S. making it. I started moving stuff around. I was like, "What's that look like?"
well, why don't you go Group A through H? Give me your two teams you have advancing.
All right. Uh, so you made such good points with that Mexico thing. I'm so upset. I did not have Mexico. I had Croatia sneaking out of there after an initial loss. Group B, um, Spain and Chile. C, Colombia and Japan. D, I had Uruguay and Costa Rica digging themselves out. E, I had Switzerland, and I think I had Ecuador. Yeah, I think I had Ecuador originally. No, that can't be right. Honduras. I'm taking Honduras. Ignore me. F.
Scotty's giving love to CONCACAF, baby.
Yeah. F. Argentina and Bosnia. I got a lot of teams digging themselves out of their first game holes, unless they can sneak some draws there. Uh, Group G, Germany, United States, and Group H, I had Belgium and Russia.
Okay, well, everyone knows that I have Brazil and Mexico. Group A, Group B, I have Spain and Chile. Group C, I have Colombia and Japan. It would not surprise me in the least if Japan wins that group. Group D, Uruguay and Italy. As I mentioned, Italy on a coin flip from FIFA. Group E, I have France winning the group, Switzerland coming in second. Group F, I have Argentina winning, Bosnia-Herzegovina second. Group G, Germany, the U.S., and Group H, I have Belgium and Algeria. Trying to think what. So give me if you had to go with a final four. So all right. So basically, I'll just give you my synopsis really quick. My second round, I have Brazil, Chile. I have Brazil winning that. I have Colombia playing Italy. I have Italy winning there. I have France playing Bosnia. I have France winning. I have Germany playing Algeria. I have Germany winning. I have the United States playing Belgium. I have the United States winning. I have Switzerland playing Argentina. I have Argentina winning. I have Uruguay playing Japan with Uruguay winning. I have Spain playing Mexico with Spain winning. Do you want to give me who you got?
Oof. All right. Fuck, I just search brackets again. So, so wait, that was all your quarterfinals.
Well, that was my second round matchups
All right.
that would lead to the quarterfinals.
So the second round, I got Brazil. All right, so ignore everything I just said, people. I got Brazil against Chile. Fuck the Netherlands, they're out. Change my mind again. You're out, Netherlands. Second round, Brazil versus Chile. Brazil winning. I got Spain versus Croatia. Spain winning. Colombia versus Costa Rica with Colombia winning. Uruguay versus Ivory Coast with Uruguay winning. I don't know how that happened. Then I got Switzerland versus Bosnia. Switzerland. Argentina, Ecuador with Argentina. Germany, Russia with Germany. Then Belgium, USA. I picked Belgium. I didn't want to though.
So did you pick Japan or the Ivory Coast? Because I thought you said you picked Japan.
I did originally.
Okay, but you went with the Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Scott. All right, so my quarterfinal matchup, I have Brazil against Italy. I have Brazil winning. I have France against Germany. As much as I want to pick France here, soccer is a game where 22 players run around with one ball, and in the end, Germany wins. I got Germany. Spain and Uruguay, I have Spain. Argentina and the U.S., I have Argentina.
Word. So yeah, my quarterfinals: Brazil, Colombia. Got Brazil. Spain, Uruguay. I got Spain. Then I got Argentina versus Belgium. I got Argentina. Switzerland versus Germany. I have Switzerland.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Out of nowhere. There's gotta be like one, like,
You're right. Hey,
you know?
at the 2010 World Cup, man, who was the only team that beat Spain?
Switzerland?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, set me up for being right.
I got you, man. I got you. It's not as crazy as if people think, like, if you think back to the last, I think, 2 or 3 World Cups that Switzerland's played in, you know how many goals they've given up? 2. Given up 2 goals over that time span. Their problem has always been scoring. If they can score, they're going to defend really well.
Nice.
All right, so my semifinal, Brazil, Germany. I just want to throw a caveat out there. If it's Brazil, France, I'm taking France all the way to Vegas. But if it's Brazil, Germany, I got Brazil. I have Spain, Argentina, and I have Spain. And then I have Brazil and Spain in the final, and I have Spain repeating.
Oh, no way. I got Brazil, Switzerland with Brazil. Spain, Argentina, taking Argentina. Then I got Brazil beating Argentina in an all South American final.
All right, well, I got to ask you, man. Argentina, do you really think they can make the final with one of the worst goalkeepers in the tournament?
I mean,
he's terrible.
You make it sound.
He's terrible, Scott. I'm telling you, he's awful. Trust me.
It's just the way it broke. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah. Yeah, why not? Fuck it. I think they'll score enough.
All right. I'm going to read this to you. I don't know how you're going to take it. You're an incredible.
You know your goddamn facts, Rye. Shit.
All right. So, Argentina was runner-up in 1990. And since 1990, Sweden, Bulgaria, Uruguay, Turkey, and Croatia have reached the semifinals, while Argentina has only reached the quarters.
Well,
trust me, I was looking for a reason to knock them out in the quarterfinals. I really, really was. But the fact that it's in South America, I put them into the semis. And a lot of people are down on Spain, and it's interesting to me that Spain is actually less of a favorite to win this World Cup than Argentina is, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. Argentina is currently 4-1. Spain is 5-1. Obviously, it's not a big difference, but Spain, man, I know a lot of their key players are older, but this is still one of the greatest generation of teams we've ever seen, and they were the first European team to win it outside of Europe. I think they can be the first team to go back-to-back since Brazil in 58-62.
Oh, dude, there's just too many. That would be really crazy, man. But how many tournaments in a row would that be?
They would have won the World Cup, the Euros, and then the World Cup. But keep in mind, they did not win the Confederations Cup.
Which they lost to
Brazil.
where?
Hey, man.
I mean, come on, where'd they lose?
They lost in Rio.
Alright. So, and didn't Brazil kind of like run them off the field in that game?
All I know is the last time Brazil played a
Did they
World
run them off the field in that game? No, come on, let's be real.
all I know is the last time Brazil played a World Cup final at the Maracanã, they lost to Uruguay. And if you're asking me to pick a team that has Julio Cesar as their keeper over Iker Casillas, I will not do it. Won't do it.
Oh man. I mean, all right. Spain has every chance in the world. I don't know. I just.
Could you think of a team though that has won a World Cup and won the Euros and has not really been talked about at all? I feel like Spain has not been talked about at all because of the struggles Barcelona had this year.
Yeah, it's like translating over to the national team for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's been quiet for them, which plays to their advantage. But we're also here, so it's kind of tough. It's been very, very U.S. centric, thankfully. So maybe if there's a little bit more time and even coverage, but I don't know. I'm really liking South American teams. Just any Central South American teams. I definitely have a preference for. I would love to have picked the U.S. to beat Belgium. Dude, I just can't wait. I just can't wait to party, watch these games.
No.
It's gonna be so good.
I really tried to train my liver in Jacksonville, just full on all day. I'll be honest with you though, man. The one thing that wouldn't shock me, it wouldn't shock me if Ecuador is that second team out of Group F. Switzerland, it's hard to put faith in these European teams once they get over to South America, and the only reason I put my faith in them is just because of the way I had it scripted out. They get Ecuador in that first game. If they're able to draw with Ecuador, I kind of give the favor to them because I think they're a tougher matchup for France than Ecuador is. But
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it'd be interesting to watch them. But yeah, I've always kind of, I felt like Switzerland and Belgium. Belgium's kind of been like the underdog team that everyone's been like talking about just to scooch too much, about making a run. So that's kind of made me a little less doggish on them. But I think Switzerland.
I saw that an ESPN writer had the Netherlands winning the World Cup, and I got to be honest, if someone who can write for ESPNFC.com is allowed to pick the Netherlands, what am I doing here?
That's offensive. In what universe?
That team is so dysfunctional. They're just like France. Holland and France are very, very similar in terms of their biggest enemy is always themselves. It's always each other. And Van Persie's been hurt all season. Wesley Sneijder plays for Galatasaray. Hasn't really done too much. He's much older. They got an unproven keeper. I'm sorry, I want no part of Holland. And
No.
Chile's one of these teams where they can dominate for 85 minutes and then let in a goal and lose. But they were one of the more entertaining sides in South Africa, and I'm willing to hitch my wagon to Chile, even though they may be complete psychopaths.
No, exactly. I mean, but like you can't underestimate the settings of these games and the weather and the travel involved once you get there. I mean, that's another massive thing playing against the U.S. The 9,000 miles of travel once we get there. Not even that's an exaggeration. I think that's I'm really close to in the ballpark.
No, you're right. 9,000 is in the ballpark, but the good thing to keep in mind with that, man, think about how far these MLS players travel. It might not be as bad as we think. MLS guys travel all over the U.S.
Yeah. And it's great how many these MLS guys are really just coming through for the U.S. all the time.
Yeah, they're just going to be the key. They're the key. I don't know what the key is, but it's the key.
I love MLS. When are we buying season tickets for the Miami Beckhams?
Oh, dude, we are going in on a pair. I don't care if I have to drive down there. But yeah, the only other thing I want to add about our group, man, you know the U.S. and you know Jurgen, you know Germany, and you know Ghana. They're going to beat the hell out of Ronaldo. As you saw in the Champions League final, Ronaldo does not like to get beat up. He's hurting. I think every U.S. fan should be cautiously optimistic that we will make it out of the group, and they should also not be surprised when we do make it out of the group.
Oh, I want to make it out of the group. I put in my time off request for the 16th and the 22nd, and my boss was like, "Oh, what's going on those days?" So I was just like, "I just got some stuff I got to take care of."
Got a lot of personal things going on. Had a Tinder date go wrong. She's still stalking me.
No, thankfully that's not true. But I'm gonna have to grab a table like 4 hours early if I want one.
That's what's up, man. Soccer continues to get bigger and bigger. I'll never forget 2002, bro. Just like skipping school at Joey Guat's house and watching France lose to Senegal at like 6:30 in the morning as his parents left, knowing full well that we were not going to school.
That's sick. I do not remember what I was doing in 2002.
All right, well, you got to run soon, so we gave the people our picks. We gave a little bit of a breakdown. All I'm going to offer you is one piece of advice if you're filling out your bracket, if you still haven't done it. There's only 7 countries that have won the World Cup. If you think basketball is all about chalk, soccer is way more about chalk. So keep that in mind. Chalk is good. Scotty C, do you have a quick moment to tell us about Vegas? Vegas?
Vegas, baby. Vegas is fun. I highly suggest going there with a group of about 8 to 9 people. It's like the perfect amount. It's really easy to like split cabanas and tables at that price point, you know? So, and I'll just Friday night we get suited up to go out. We're down in the lobby or casino floor, whatever you want to frame it. And this chick stops, points at me, screams, "Dancing guy!" All my friends start laughing, and I'm looking. I could not have been more confused. I'm like, "What is she talking about?" And all my friends just go, "Dude, do you not remember you at the pool today?" So it was good. It was a good trip. I was in my own universe, bro. Like I barely talked to anyone. I was just like the guy in the pool, just fucking having a great time.
You were the guy that all the ladies looked at and were like, you know what? I want to party with that guy.
I had the most fun. Definitely. Someone had to have the most fun, and I had it. So
I wish I could have taken a bet at Vegas as to who would have had the most fun on that trip, because that to me is free money. That's free money.
and that and just too many guys wanted to touch my beard. That was another problem though. So just too many dudes are interested in like complimenting my beard, and it's just no. I'm just over it. It's like I appreciate it, man. Like cool, just go fucking grow your own. All right, just leave me out of it. Leave me out of your beard fantasies. But I also got led around by my beard by some very, very beautiful black women, which is that's a whole nother story. So
I imagine the guys who were trying to touch your beard may have physically resembled Cyril Figgis from Archer.
That's funny. It's an Archer joke. People watch Archer. If you don't get that, you need to watch it immediately.
Hello.
Like so many dudes just come up like, "Yo, man, it's a really sick beard. I used to have one like that." I'm like, yeah, sure, cool, awesome. I'm really happy for you. And then they'll be like, "Can I touch it?" Yes, sure, because that's why I came here, for you to touch my face.
If I had $1 for every time someone tried to touch my beard.
Yeah. I'd have too many dollars. I don't want those dollars.
Dirty money.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, folks. Well, the World Cup starts on Thursday. Brazil and Croatia, 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's 1 o'clock Scotty C time. And the first U.S. game will be Scotty C. How are you ready for it, man? Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Scotty C time. USA versus Ghana. Doesn't matter where you are. Just make sure you're in front of a freaking TV, because, goddamn it, they ain't going to beat us 3 times in a row. I believe that we will win.
I believe!